Oh, on CTY?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's fine. You need some sort of setup on eHome. If you look at their lineup, before the Darkseer gets a Blink Dagger, you need something to open up. That's why CTY is actually being sent first. It's not just because of the Aegis, but Universe does a good job of avoiding it, and Calldown's going to come down, but that's not enough damage. He'll just make it off.
It's good versus Orchid. It sets him up for the Storm Spirit kill, especially since he did go for that Bloodstone. Like, that means the Storm Spirit is actually very susceptible to Yule's Split Earth.
EG right now, they're having a tough time looking for an angle right now because eHome is just doing a good job of keeping together. And EG are doing what they can. Sumail just continues to farm, which is the correct decision, definitely. But they're just getting a little bit less farm than eHome are right now.
There's going to be a big team fight buff here for eHome very soon. RTK is about to complete his Blink Dagger, I believe. So this will now set up the Winter Wyvern, as well as maybe, you know, Telekinesis or Split Earth plays are possibilities as well. But it's really the Winter's Curse Vacuum combination that's so deadly.
Yeah, as long as they watch out for that, eHome or EG should still be okay. They've got a ton of clear. The Storm Spirit just continues to get so farmed.
They've got heroes that are very good at spreading out. Like, obviously, Storm Spirit's one of them, but then they've got a Blink Dagger hero, a Nyx Assassin, Tusk. He usually sits back and snowballs in anyway. I can see how, like, this Winter's Curse vacuum combo may only catch, like, I feel at the most 2 heroes. Like, the Gyrocopter plus Skywrath Mage is probably your most obvious go.
Yeah, and Storm, again, takes the net worth lead. Really surprising considering the landscape of this game. The first Tier 2 tower was taken by eHome, but Sumail, he's not forcing anything or overextending. He's not looking to make fights happen. He's just letting things naturally happen to him. And he realizes that because of the type of lineup that eHome has, the one downside of this is they are sort of forced to 5-man, eHome are. And when this happens, it means that you'll naturally get ahead despite the tower advantage.
Aegis is now down. Evil Geniuses, like, they complete the MKB and the Gyrocopter. Did they go in at that point? Like, he just needs another 1,000 gold. I mean, because Luna is the more powerful late-game hero.
I don't think so. I think Gyro's still better.
No? He's still better?
Yeah, because the option for Gyro exists where you can get a, what's that item called? A Divine. And it's so strong.
Okay.
And there's nothing on eHome that'll instantly burst him down once he has a BKB.
What about the supporting cast then? Of both sides. You've got the Vacuum Winter's Curse on one side, but then you've got the Storm Spirit.
Oh, PPD's going to get caught out here.
Yeah, they do have maybe a Snowball to save him. No, he turns around, but he's being placed on ROTK. So CTY.
They sniped the Courier too, though.
That's true. So a 5th kill finally on the board for eHome.
Universe, I think, sniped that, yeah. He found it in the jungle. Universe has had a tough game. He hasn't died, but he just hasn't had opportunities to make use of his ultimate or that Blink Dagger.
Yeah. It's kind of like running around as a clockwork and just, like, there's no kills on the board, right? Like, you're running around as a clockwork, what else do you do? You're not particularly a strong farming hero. At least Nyx Assassin has certain things like Aghanims he can go for late game.
Oh, yeah,
But he's much more kill-focused than anything else. It's just no opportunities for him.
All right, so eHome probably waits out the next Aegis. It's going to come up within the next 4 minutes.
He's still going to go Butterfly on Luna. He's got the Eagle song on him now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just it's still good on the Storm, against the Storm.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not great against the Gyrocopter, but it's still good against the Storm Spirit. And it increases your damage output by quite a lot. And this top CTY wanted to go for the Yules on Fear just to force the BKB, if anything. Oh, they see Vision of Sumail right now. CTY is going to try to Yules him from Vision, but Sumail's going to spot this coming with his Remnant.
Yeah, they actually hit PPD. Leading with the Yules. Split Earth will land this time. PPD is going to be bursted down, but at the same time, Sumail makes his entrance. Nice vacuum in, but they still don't have DDC. He actually puts the Winter's Curse onto Sumail. The rest of eHome turning now to deal with him, but he managed to get the jump into the river. He's good. Meanwhile, Fear, he's popped his BKB and is trying to fight up against 3 different heroes, but his BKB will run out eventually, and it seems he's just running out of time. He's going to try and finish off ROTK, but not even that is possible. eHome do take the fight, getting 3 in exchange for just their Rubik.
Yeah, I don't think EG anticipated the amount of damage that eHome was able to put out, and the supports from eHome right now are just so much stronger. Like, AUI can't really do anything when everybody BKBs. He's only playing a Skywrath. He's not playing a hero that we typically see him play where you can go for the solo pickoffs or punish eHome for playing so passive, right? Like often we see him play heroes like Naga or Lina that can just go around the map and do what he wants, but EHOM have just played this really frustrating game where they just don't allow any openings for EG, and they're doing such a good job of it. They're not really giving EG any chances to get back in this game, and with all the multiple BKBs up, Universe's impact has been severely limited.
Yeah, I mean, as you point that out, there's 3 different heroes, like the Skywrath Mage, Tusk, and Nyx Assassin, all who farming on is just not very valuable. You know, sitting back, if as you were saying, if AUI had one of his signature greedy 4 positions, they would be in a much better position with this passive play. But as it is, it's really only Sumail and Fear's Gyrocopter that are getting any sort of progression in items that is worthy to talk about. Like, yes, there is a 4-staff on Nyx Assassin. That's nice utility, but it doesn't change the landscape of the game too much.
Oh, Sumail's going to go for the TP out. I actually think ROTK could have sniped him there. If he had... I don't think he was watching because his hero wasn't clicked, but if he had gone for the vacuum, that was just unlucky by Sumail because he rolled right next to the Darkseer with like a second left on his TP, and ROTK must have just been like, what the hell? But at top, Fear's going to get opened up on, and it's just a move to force him to BKB.
Yeah. At the same time, CTY doesn't want to try and force it too much. He doesn't want to have to use his own BKB if someone else is behind Fear, so it just clears through the creep wave, puts a little pressure on Fear, and backs up nice and quick. YJ is about to complete his butterfly, and Roshan. Yeah, good timing for EHOM.
Yeah, they're playing a completely objective-based Dota. They're playing around the Roshan timings. They're not letting EG open up on them before the Roshan
have to stop this. I mean,
they're the best team in the world at fighting Roshan when they're behind.
Here it comes. 4-man smoke up. How do they lead things off here? Universe does have the Blink Dagger to start things with a jump in, EG. They actually spread themselves out. They don't realize that Roshan was actually happening, it seems like. Universe jumps forward, but there's a blink over to the side from ROTK. PPD in some serious trouble.
Going for it right now.
Activated Lanham is actually going to be the target here of Gyrocopter for the Winter's Curse, plus the wall is going to be the target. Sumail now jumps in, going for ROTK, has to jump himself out, though, as he realizes the team fight is totally lost. EHOM will now clean up the rest of the heroes. Lanham will be taken out by Sumail, who now jumps over to get DDC as well. Still has some mana left, but hit by the Split Earth and the last couple of right clicks. Maybe not worth it to get those 2 supports, but EHOM now trying challenge for Roshan. Sumail buys back, and he's got a lot of mana. He makes a long-range jump, going for CTY, almost lands on top of him, but he does still get CTY. Now man fights against YJ.
He picks up the gem too.
He's running himself out. He's low on mana, but just enough to be able to get over this cliff. So he gets the Leshrac, takes the gem, but at the same time, EHOM will still claim Roshan.
Does he still go for this? No way.
The ballsy maneuver, but he's not fast enough. Aegis is now grabbed by CTY.
That was such an incredibly close fight. If things had broken a little bit for EG, that Winter's Curse, though, destroyed them. Like, they weren't able to put out any damage.
Oh,
Universe
YJ.
can't survive. Oh, this was greedy.
At the very least, you can be happy that he wasn't the one who grabbed the Aegis, because maybe he would have died a second time there, but that's rough. That's such a simple pickoff that actually just kind of evens up the team fight we just had around Roshan.
Yeah, because the Leshrac died in that fight too. He was able to naturally respawn, but it's still an advantage EHOM because they had to force out Sumail's buyback. I guess he made the money back, so it's okay. It just depends on whether or not EHOM have enough time to punish this.
Yeah.
Like, they have the Aegis on the Leshrac. I think that with this, once you wait for the Luna to come back online, you start going for it, but just really well played by EHOM. Being able to isolate out so many different heroes. The BKBs are just ruining EG right now because they don't have any physical damage aside from the Gyrocopter.
So Sumail goes for the Lincolns instead of a BKB. I'm presuming just because Winter's Curse is so strong against him. There is still the possibility that he gets caught. The vacuum, Winter's Curse doesn't need to be placed on the Storm Spirit necessarily. It just needs to be caught in the AoE.
What he's playing for right now is the potential of Storm. More than... He's trying to... just say, okay, if I go for a BKB here, it doesn't give me any more damage, it doesn't give me any more mana regen, but if I go for the Lincolns, it's a pseudo-defensive item, but it allows me to continue to snowball forward. Like, a Lincolns is an item that you would want in your absolute 6-slot as a Storm, so he's just playing for the late-game potential of the Storm Spirit rather than going for the mid-game item build. Like, I'm completely okay with him doing this here. Okay. That's a game-losing BKB, as EE would say.
4-man smoke up, EHOM. They've got this Aegis, and as you were kind of saying earlier, that last Roshan fight, it all kind of comes down to whether or not they're able to utilize this Aegis to gain an advantage. Looks like they're going to set up on the Tier 2 tower. evil geniuses, I think, reading that the Leshrek's got to have somebody behind him, are immediately going up to the top part of the map, whether that's farming up the jungle, maybe putting pressure on the tier 2 there. Whatever they're doing, it's just staying away from the bottom lane.
There's no way that you can fight. With no vision, you don't really... You know for sure that eHome are behind CTY, but you're not exactly sure where they are, and this might actually be really bad for EG, because eHome is going to read that they're all at top, yep. So even if EG TP for this, it's going to allow eHome to set up for however they want the fight to go, and EG just aren't going to be set for this, and so this is just going to be a free tower for eHome, and not enough time for EG to respond.
The glyph is there. Tier 2 gets taken at the middle lane. Top tier 2 being threatened as well. CTY. Here comes the initiation. Universe actually misses that one. Now pops the spike here, but the CTY already pops BKB. Meanwhile, Lonham is able to get away thanks to the Glimmer Cape. Fear now making his entrance, but there goes that Winter's Curse, holding him in as best as possible. A couple little lightning strikes, and PPD is forced into a defensive snowball now. Is going to be heading back in, but eHome, as they lose their BKBs, start manning down a little bit. Now the extra initiation. Once again, Universe kind of missing up on that one. Sumail still able to get Lonham. CTY, though, is healthy as ever and is able to turn this fight. RTK gets a decent vacuum, but still no follow-up from the rest of eHome. YJ is just a little bit low, but they're going to try and commit for the racks now. Skywrath Mage dropping lower as the bouncing glaives starts getting to him, and he will end up dying to the Split Earth at the very tail end of that fight. The rest of EG just too low on mana and HP to punish eHome, especially since they're still fighting into that Aegis. So eHome actually managed to claim a full lane of racks, win a team fight still, and still have that Aegis ready to go if they want to go for another push.
Yeah, and the Luna's finished fully completed Satanic right now. I think EG, it's really difficult when eHome gets set up like that, and they've got the BKBs and they can use them defensively like that. Like, they just picked up their third BKB onto their Darkseer, and they need stuff like this to happen as Sumail initiates on DDC, who is invis. Do they have a gem for this? They've got a sentry at the very least, so DDC should go down, and Sumail, I mean, 12 Bloodstone charges now, and that's a decent amount, but he's going to need a little bit more than that.
His next item, is it like Scythe of Ice to be able to lock down the Luna? Do you go with Shivas to try and slow down these heroes and just make yourself tankier?
I think Scythe of Ice is... I think a Shiva's might be better, but I wouldn't fault him for going for the Scythe of Ice. He might just feel like the Hex won't make a big enough difference, whereas the Shivas, you can get some AoE damage out, guarantee that when you do your initial roll-in, you can pretty much just burst one of the support heroes down as fast as possible, but right now it's not even his items that really matter too much, it's that he needs Fear to just get really stacked, because eHome are just kind of running in, doing whatever they want, and EG just can't put out enough damage. Like, Sumail rolls in, once he uses initial mana pull, eHome feel pretty comfortable with staying in that fight. That's why YJ was able to just stay with 800 HP, because they know that Sumail doesn't have a Hex, he doesn't have a Shivas, and so he can't really chase past that point. Because if he just gets unlucky with a few Butterfly procs, then the Storm is overcommitted and dies.
eHome, if they really want to take advantage of this, they can try and push before the Butterfly is complete on the Gyrocopter, but I'm not even sure, like, damage-wise, it's obviously a big increase, but I'm not even sure the evasion is going to be all that valuable for the Gyrocopter. You still got the Bouncing Glaives, you've got Leshrac, all that magic damage coming out.
It would be good if he didn't, if his BKB wasn't almost down to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But with the BKB being down to 5 seconds, CTY's effectiveness is just going to skyrocket, and Fear is the only person with a BKB on his team, so he's the only person that can really step forward, but it means that he's going to have to blow his BKB earlier than he would like. Because there's not a whole lot of defensive heroes from EG. It's not like they have an Earthshaker that will really scare the bejesus out of eHome. They've got Snowball, but even then, that's not the best.
We saw the Octarine core completed for the Leshrac. That means we're now down to that